Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So welcome to another market open stream. Yesterday was a little dicey, especially at night. But you know what? Today's theme is, as a Bitcoin investor, you don't want to be left behind because there are so many things happening right now. And if you miss out, you will regret it. So let's talk about what's going on with Bitcoin and crypto and why you don't want to be left behind. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. We are starting out the day a little bit lower than yesterday. Bitcoin has fallen to 95,000, and some of the alts have come down as well. But you know what I've always said, dips are gifts at this point. Bitcoin in the 90s, Bitcoin in the hundreds, anything beyond, right? At this point, there's no doubt we are going higher, but we will continue to have dips, weakness, volatility, consolidation points, and they are gifts to us. Allows us to buy our favorite crypto and Bitcoin at a discount. That's how you have to see it. If you get feared out or flooded out of the market, you will regret it and be left behind, and that's not what you want. All right, so today we are starting out the day kind of mixed. Yesterday was a pretty brutal day for a broader market and, of course, for crypto as well. But today, we're starting out a little bit in the red. However, that could change. Investors, or Wall Street specifically, is waiting for a couple of key data, economic data. What is that? First of all, we have a Fed governor talking, okay? We have an ADP employment data, and then we have jobless claims. Those should be coming out in the next 15 minutes, 15 to 1 hour. Then we have a very important one coming this afternoon or early afternoon, which is the Fed minutes. Okay, so Wall Street's going to be digesting that, seeing if Fed Chair Powell said anything behind closed doors that he didn't reveal publicly with his last press conference. Generally speaking, minutes don't show a whole lot, but sometimes Wall Street really nitpicks and tries to read between the lines, and it could cause some volatility. But also the ADP jobs report and jobless claims. Let's see what happens. Yesterday, what really prompted everything to go down was the job openings number, right? It was actually good, but Wall Street didn't like good because they want bad at this point. So we'll see what the unemployment number says today, and also jobless claims, right? They will be important, pretty important. Also, yesterday, you guys know that a lot of people got liquidated. That was also another reason why everything came back down so fast. We had over $700 million worth of longs liquidated within a single day. Shows you the type of greed that's out there. This kind of liquidation didn't exist in previous cycles, but this cycle, everyone is getting involved. But what we need to see is the opposite. When we do pump up back above $100,000 and beyond, we'd love to see more red or more shorts get squeezed and liquidated, not the longs, but that's exactly what happened yesterday. We had a whole bunch of people get wrecked yesterday once again. Now, like I've been saying, you don't want to be left behind. Even Fidelity is sending that warning, okay? Actually, this is written for nations, sovereign states, not for retail investors, no. So Fidelity is now saying that, hey, because there's a lot of talk about countries making a strategic reserve of Bitcoin, including America, of course, and there are many other countries that, or politicians or leaders that have started saying the same thing. now Fidelity is warning that other nations that are not thinking about this and not going to implement a strategic reserve, they will actually be left behind. And it's for the same reasons I've been telling you guys. Because once the FOMO train hits among nations, there's not going to be enough to go around. I mean, I think people still don't understand how scarce Bitcoin is. There's very little left to be mined. Every single thing that's out there now, every single sat Bitcoin is being eaten up. And once the countries really start FOMOing in and putting their billions and trillions in, it's game over. And countries that are left behind, not holding any Bitcoin, they will be worse off for it. They will be left behind, even more so. So, if Fidelity is saying that about countries, well, what do you think about, companies and retail investors, right? We should be following. It's the same principle, same idea. We don't want to give up on it. Bhutan is doing that. Not only Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, actually BNB, they're a small little nation that have adopted Bitcoin and crypto, right? But we got Thailand, at least one of their major city, Phuket, that is going to be allowing Bitcoin crypto payments, but Thailand overall and many other Southeast Asian, countries and Asia itself. I mean, everyone's just getting really bullish. South Korea recently with all the drama over their president and martial law and everything, and then the new president being impeached too. I don't know what's going on, but they are a very pro-crypto nation, and now they're going to allow corporate firms to invest in crypto as well. So that is big too. So not only are you going to have countries embracing Bitcoin, putting it into their strategic reserve, but also the regulations and laws are turning a lot more favorable worldwide. And that's fantastic. That is fantastic. And in the US, we have many states. I've heard last count was 13 states that are also trying to come up with with a new law or whatever they're trying to do to also add Bitcoin into their reserve and make it a strategic reserve. This is state level. And we may be getting a 51st and 52nd state soon. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have been following everything that Trump has been saying and proposing. Canada may be the 51st state, and then Greenland may be the 52nd state. So we may get 2 new states in the U.S. pretty soon. And basically all of North America will become just the United States of America. All right, moving forward, what else is there? ETFs. Even though yesterday was a pretty, down day, you have massive outflows from a lot of these funds, but not BlackRock. Larry Fink's like, enough is enough. I'm going to start accumulating. So yesterday, you would figure it would be a pretty negative outflow day, but overall, we still had a net positive 52 million inflow, and that's thanks to BlackRock's close to 600 million inflow, right? So again, ETFs still having a big effect long term as they contribute to the supply shock, and they're just eating up more and more and more, hundreds to billions upon billions of Bitcoin, taking it out of circulation. And I've shown this before, in case you have any doubts, in case you're Peter Schiff or anyone else that still loves gold, or let's say loves gold more than Bitcoin. This is the difference in demand. IROX or BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin ETF is nearly double the AUM of gold, and it's only been out for a year, while gold's ETF from BlackRock has been out for decades. That shows you going forward, this is the appetite. This is a real world example of appetite for Bitcoin versus the appetite for gold. Gold may be going up. It's not going really anywhere quickly. Bitcoin is skyrocketing to the moon. That's what this is showing. And it's going to continue to do that. It's not going to stop. Now, last few things I'll say about Bitcoin. The RSI, those of you guys that are traders and you're looking at charts, yesterday, Bitcoin's 1 hour RSI fell to extremely oversold level. In fact, one that we haven't seen since October when Bitcoin was still 60,000, right? So from a TA perspective, things are turning around. Short term, long term, we still have a lot of patterns like this showing a diamond continuation pattern. This is for everything, not just Bitcoin and crypto. So it means that, hey, once we get past this once again, once Wall Street realizes they have overreacted and the supply shock continues to increase, we will be going back up. We will be forming a new high. And this is why we don't want to be scared out of the market. Otherwise, you will be left behind. Right? We have been through this many times, even last year. Remember this channel that we were in. It seemed like we kept going up and then down, up, down, up, down. And every time, it seemed like Bitcoin is getting a little bit weaker, until September hit. And that's when we didn't get weaker. We kept going. And we just jumped in a big way from the 60s to 90s and to a new high. And it's going to be the same story this time around. We may be going sideways. We may be seeing some volatility. But hey, once we're through it, guess what's going to happen? We're going to start skyrocketing once again. And we're going to consolidate at a new level. It happens every single time. That's it. And by the way, there's another company called Soul Strategies, kind of like MicroStrategy, that is also kind of following the same footsteps, but they just keep acquiring Solana instead of Bitcoin. So they decided to purchase another 25 million yesterday or today or yesterday. It's interesting that Michael Saylor created this like new strategy, which really is just DCAing. If you think about it, it's not really new. It's just, you just DCA when you can. That's really it. I mean, obviously he's made it more little more sophisticated by like issuing bonds and leveraging his company to buy more Bitcoin. But ultimately what he's doing and what anyone else is doing, even from a corporate level, is DCA. When you have the ability to, when you have the money, when you think the market has overreacted too much, what do? You buy and bring your cost average down and you wait for things to recover, and then you'll be better off for it. That's how Saylor made tens of billions of dollars with MicroStrategy. And back in the day, he used to talk about how he made hundreds of millions of dollars from Apple stock. And same thing. He just bought it when it was low and sold it when it was high. It's the same concept. Nothing has changed. All right, let's see. Today, market, it still says pre-market for some reason. All right, so we're starting out. NASDAQ a little bit stronger, barely in the red because yesterday really sold off. Dow a little bit more. So I think Wall Street is waiting for a couple things. We got a couple economic data that's coming out within the next 30 minutes to an hour. But we also have a big Fed minutes report that's coming out. Coinbase is green, Robinhood is green, MicroStrategy in red. All these sold off. Well, actually, MicroStrategy and Coinbase sold off hugely yesterday. So let's see if they can recover today as well, along with Bitcoin and crypto. All right. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let's see. Scrolling up. Okay, nothing. Ricky Lowe asks, is it okay to hold 2x BITU and ETH before the pump? I mean, sure. Why not? It might hurt while it's going down, but when it comes back up, it's fine. But I don't know. I'm just not a big ETH guy. So Manuel says, Powell being so bearish last week, can we say the data coming out show good data, but will be seen by market as negative? Yes. I mean, it's kind of like that bizarro world scenario I was talking about yesterday. Unfortunately, we're like in that time again, where somehow good economic data spooks the market. That's not what we want, and that doesn't even make any sense. Good economic data should be good. But because people want to see Powell cut rates and do it more aggressively, you know, unfortunately, we're back to that bizarro world where good is bad and bad is good. Jazz Neil, I talked about Injective a lot the last few days. Have you checked out Node AI's AI agent? No. I've said this before about AI agents. I'm going to take it easy with them, and I think most people should too. Too many people, too many projects, even ones that are not established. They're just launching another token and saying it's an AI agent play, and they're trying to hop on a bandwagon, when in fact their main project itself isn't established. So just because everyone's declaring they have an AI agent and there's going to be future uses for them and this and that, ultimately what everyone is doing is launching an AI agent and trying to hop on a bandwagon and trying to get another token pump. So be careful. It's just like memes. When memes came out, right? And when we're in meme season, you got a lot of memes that just come out of nowhere and people gamble with them. Right now, I feel like AI agents are the same way in crypto. Very, very little of them is actually being used. Most projects now are just coming out with AI agents that have no use cases and, you know, trying to hop on a bandwagon. James, price prediction for XRP, higher than where it is now. Any chance Polkadot will be involved with the TikTok purchase? Why would it be? Why? I don't get it. Why would Polkadot be involved with the TikTok purchase? Polkadot is trying very hard to market itself because they don't really have a lot going on. They do have a large treasury. So maybe Gavin Wood, you know, because Polkadot always does these like governance votes. But what people don't realize is Gavin Wood himself has like the most number of Polkadot, so he always just overrules everyone. He himself basically is voting what he wants. So if they put a proposal, hey, let's go buy TikTok, and he wants it, it'll happen. I just don't know if they have enough money for it. Maybe they do. They have a very, very large treasury, that's for sure. It looks like Sui may have found that bottom from yesterday around 460 or 450. Now it's bouncing a little bit at 460, so that is encouraging. Let's see. Solana, same thing. May have found a bottom yesterday at 193. Now it's at 198. XRP is still extremely strong. Brad Garlinghouse just met with Trump yesterday, so that made them stronger. 232, still very, very, still like 20% higher than a week ago. JVC, any regular exchange we could leverage, not in the US. If you're in the US, there's no regular exchange. Even Coinbase and Gemini and Crypto.com and all these, right, that have leverage, but it's only for people outside the US. So when I do it, I just use foreign exchanges like BitUnix and the new one, Hotcoin, but still, like, you just, in the US, I'm assuming you're asking that because you're in the US, there's no US exchange that allows US residents to leverage trade. They're all foreign exchanges. Griffian on Solana has been incredible. Okay. Tell me why it's so incredible. Instead of just stating that, just saying, well, what's so incredible? What are they working on that's so incredible? Bob Free says, today's bottom was the very high last month. Yep. What will happen on Inauguration Day? I don't know. Trump is making a lot of statements right now. We may get 2 nations that become states soon. I didn't even know about this thing where he asked to buy Greenland. I don't know if you guys heard about that. I don't know what he offered, but he wants to buy Greenland for many reasons, for strategic position and also for natural resources, rare metals and stuff. I didn't know this, but Greenland is still owned by Denmark, even though they operate as a country, but they're owned by Denmark. And Denmark has turned down the purchase twice. So, but now Greenland's like acting president or president is saying that they want to become an independent state, which they can. It's built into their agreement with Denmark that even though they're owned by Denmark, if they hold some kind of vote and they agree to, they want to become independent, they could. So this is all coming out right now while Trump is saying he wants to buy Greenland. So I don't even know how that works. I didn't even know that you could buy countries these days. MLG on Solana, next coin to 10 billion. Probably not, no. TJ, Happy New Year. I've been out of the loop for a week. Any updates on the 100K party? I don't know if I'm going to have that. Like, I asked around, not a whole lot of people were excited about it. I thought a lot of people were. I thought I could host a big party, have a lot of sponsors, like these projects that want to be part of it. Everyone I asked was not interested. They just like did not care. So that made me less excited about it. But I will be traveling to a lot of conferences this year. So if you want to meet me, you can. Yeah. But as for 100K parties, like, no one just really cares. I guess we could have plan one out for a $1 million party. No, like a 200K party, something like that. A retirement party. You can't just become a state of the U.S. There's a process. Yeah, I know. That's why no one really thinks that any of these proposals are actually anything other than just like distractions. Like, really, are we going to make Canada a 51st state? That it'd be great for the U.S. We got a huge landmass. We get all this oil. We get hockey or better hockey teams and maple syrup and lumber. I don't know if Canadians want that. Out of the grand scheme of things, everything that's going on, I don't know if talking about countries to acquire as states would be among the top. Why is this still stuck in futures? Let's see. I'm just kidding about the hockey statement. I don't follow hockey. I don't know what's going on with hockey. I just assume that all the best hockey players are from Canada. I do think, Gene says, I do think Canadian want it as their country's in chaos now. And, you know, and Canadians will put up a fight for their free healthcare system. Yeah, I think the free healthcare system, which many countries around the world offer, there's good and bad to it, right? Good is obviously it's free, but bad is there are limitations on how many times you could go see a doctor and appointment scheduling and all that stuff. Surgeries take forever because because it's free and there's everyone wants to do everything. So there are limitations, right? See, what Trump is so great at is creating narratives that people talk about, whether it is true or not, or whether it's going to be done or not. That's why he's a genius at marketing. Now the only thing anyone's talking about is whether or not Canada is going to become the 51st state and whether or not we're going to buy Greenland. And then he also mentioned about renaming Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Everyone's talking about it. It's like, what's the point? And then I think he also talked about taking over the Panama Canal and how that's ours. Basically, pretty soon he's probably going to say Mexico also belongs to America. So, the entire continent of North America is just America. But, whether these things ever happen or whether it's beneficial, whatever, it doesn't matter because it's the only thing people talk about. He's such a genius at that. But the good thing is, whatever he stated about Bitcoin and crypto, and he said he was going to make U.S. the crypto nation of the world, and implement strategic reserve and stuff. He's staying true to those things. Look at every appointee and everyone that's coming in; they're all super pro crypto. So. Wouldn't it make sense for each of the Canadian provinces to be in a state? Yes. It wouldn't be just, okay, we're just thinking about it. It wouldn't be just one country to become a state. That would be ridiculous. You would have to break up Canada into like provinces. I don't know how many provinces there is. Maybe there's like 5 or 6 or 3, whatever it is. Each one would become a state. So you'll be adding essentially like, I don't know, 10 states or 6 states, whatever, however many you would break up Canada into. RG says, we need 150K. These stupid pullback need to stop. Yeah, they are very frustrating. Mostly when it's caused by Wall Street, it's more annoying, right? Like, we didn't have this kind of problem back in previous cycles, not to this extent. Because now that Wall Street is very, very, very involved with Bitcoin, when they get spooked, they sell off Bitcoin too, right? So it is, I agree, it's annoying that a lot of times now these corrections are caused by Wall Street. But hey, you got to take the bad with the good. It's also because of them that Bitcoin has moved up so much so fast this cycle, and the supply shock is in effect. Yeah. I've talked to people that lived in Canada before, and they're not all gung ho about the free healthcare. Like in the US, if you have insurance, you know, anytime you get sick, you can make an appointment at an urgent care center. You could go in the ER anytime. You could obviously make an appointment with your family doctor and stuff, but it's pretty easy to schedule. And you could go in anytime. But, you know, from my here in Canada, that's not the case. You want to schedule, a doctor's visit, you got to wait weeks to get in. Same thing with surgeries, consultations. There are drawbacks to every system. Mohammed George, do you think Sui will outperform Solana this cycle? In terms of percentage, yes, because Solana is already so big. I mean, Sui has to do close to a 10x. Well, to get to Solana's level, what, 6x, 7x to get to Solana's level. So that's a 600% gain just to equal Solana, right? Not to say that Solana itself can't do a 600%. I think they can do a 5 to 6x, but I think if you're looking at overall potential, I guess, because Sui is at a lower market cap, it could be higher than Solana's. I see there's a big battle. There's a big debate between Canadians and and non-Canadians. Nothing is free in Canada, according to Chris. What is your income tax rate? That's interesting. What is the cap for income tax in Canada? And is there like a tax for healthcare and stuff? Daniel says, I can confirm that Canada's healthcare system isn't good. My wife has to wait 3 weeks to see a doctor. See, I've had friends that tell me that. Like, hey, just to see a doctor, you have to wait weeks because that's just how it is. We're getting a little move here. Little 95.8. Sui's coming up. Solana's coming up. Seems like we may have to found that bottom. Although sometimes there's fake outs. Let's see. We got, oh, here we go. We got one piece of data. Private sector companies added 122 jobs less than expected. See? We're in bizarro world now, right? We want bad economic data. Yesterday, we got a really good one. It brought the market down. Now we got one that's bad. And it's probably going to pump the market. So what we want is bad economic data, but not like horrible. If this was like 20,000 jobs, that would be horrible. We wouldn't want that. But this came in less than expectations. So this is actually a good thing. These are fudge numbers, probably. Don't know which ones are fudge and which ones are not. Gil, same here. Try to schedule a doctor appointment. It'll be a week or two out. Not really. Recently, I saw a doctor. It was like, yeah, it was a week out. But you can always go to urgent care or ER. Like urgent cares, there's plenty of them. And you could go anytime. Now, specialist is different. Like if you need a consultation to see some specialist for your knee or back or something, that's a little bit different. Because those doctors, sometimes you gotta schedule like a month out I'm not saying that healthcare here is perfect. In fact, it's far from perfect. Most doctors that you see, they like double or triple book their appointments. So like even if you go there on time, you have to wait like 30 minutes in the waiting room and then 30 minutes inside the room before the doctor comes in. It's like the most aggravating thing. I always want to yell at the doctor when it actually happens, but then like they're so nice about it, so you can't really yell at them afterwards. What do you think about the Audi RS7 ABT edition? I don't even know what the ABT edition is. RS7 itself is a fantastic looking car. All Audis look fantastic, but Audis are struggling hard. Their sales numbers continues to tank. A lot of luxury car manufacturers overall are tanking because of Tesla. Um, a lot of car manufacturers are struggling. Stellantis, like Jeep and Dodge and these guys, they're like struggling hard. You could get cars like 20, 25,000 off of MSRP and no one wants them right now. NMCT, pro medical tip, all nonprofit hospitals have to have a certain amount allocated to waive costs, usually runs out by February. Well, that's interesting. Lotto says, I think Ben Cowan is right. Altcoin season won't start and quantitative easing starts. Sure. Or you could just look at history and see that altcoin season starts at tail end of bull runs. It's not very hard to see that. Quantitative easing has started already, if you haven't noticed, Lotto. We had 2 rate cuts last year, so it already started. Luxury cars are struggling because you could get similar packages in tech now and average cars. There's some truth to that, but hey, there's still a big difference between getting a loaded Toyota Highlander versus getting a Mercedes-Benz. There's a big difference, especially in the status. But I agree with you. Normal cars have all the same features, all the same tech. But, normal cars are not cheap either. You get a fully loaded Highlander or Highlander Max, you're talking about 60 to 70,000. That's luxury car prices already. So it's not like it's really cheap. It's not like you're getting a fully loaded $25,000 car that has the same features as a $60,000 or $70,000 car. I just watched a really old movie from back in the day, 2016, of Independence Day 2. I don't know how many of you guys watched that. I didn't even know that really existed. I think I've seen bits and pieces of clips. Independence Day 2 was interesting because it showed like the humanity. All the countries are now just basically one because we got obviously almost decimated by aliens, and now we have all these like alien tech and stuff, but the aliens come back anyways. I always thought about that. Like the only way for humanity to really come together and stop infighting is we got attacked by aliens. We almost die from it. That's the only way that'll happen. But, the reality is if we get attacked by aliens, we're not going to survive. The aliens will be light years more advanced than us, and we will not figure out a way to survive. We will all perish. Mercedes is just a toy while Toyota's real car. I'm going to agree to disagree to that. We've had alien tech integrated in society since the 50s and 60s, like Velcro. Is that what you're talking about? Supposedly, like we found Velcro from a crash landed ship, and many other things like that. I don't know how true that is. Why the F would aliens come here? To take over for our resources? I don't know. To say hi and then we like nuke them and piss them off. See, that's the thing. You know, unfortunately, if a giant alien ship showed up to Earth, you know what we're gonna do? Our first reaction is to send all of our nukes to and try to blow it up. And that's gonna piss them off, and then it's gonna cause them, and we're gonna start a war, and they're gonna decimate us. Yeah. BMW X3 M40i. Why don't you just get a X3M instead of a X3 M40i? I'd rather have a Nissan Titan than a Toyota Tundra. The new Nissan Titans are garbage. That new diesel engine that came out is garbage. Nissan overall is just really struggling. Steven, maybe that's what they want you to think, but it was really invented by aliens and we just took it off a ship. Scotty, stop putting things in cap, man. It's getting distracting and annoying. Did you ever listen to a radio show, Car Talk? No. I used to when I was growing up, there was a car show on Motor TV or whatever channel. They showed these two guys always working on cars. And I really enjoyed that show. I forgot what it was called. But anyways, I really got into cars because I had friends that was into cars. And I got a Mustang 5.0 and I started messing with it and modding it. And that's what got me into cars. Well, this bad news didn't help. So there's still a big Fed minutes report that's coming out at 1 p.m. Central or 2 p.m. Eastern. I think the market's going to be choppy until then because Wall Street just wants to make sure that nothing was said in the minutes that's going to be scary. So basically that's what we're waiting for. The Fed minutes being released at 2 p.m. Carlisle is pretty good on YouTube. I mean, there's a few channels on YouTube that are outstanding. These two bros, I forgot their name. They do really good car reviews. There's a couple of them like that. Have you watched HBO's Last of Us? I think so. The one where only 2% of the population or 3% population stayed and 97% disappeared. Is that the one you're talking about? 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you're talking about. 'Cause I think that's the one you I really enjoyed that show until I didn't. If that's the one you're talking about, I think that's what it is. Yeah, Throttle House. That's really good. And Josh, yes, Josh and Steve is also on Drivers Only, so also really good. Oh, Leftovers. Yeah, Leftovers was a decent show. I loved the. I kind of liked the ending, but it was a big shock. But then it ended really weird. I remember. I don't like the ending at all. How many of you guys have watched Squid Games 2? Uh, I binged through that, and I think it's better than Squid Game 1. But it's very aggravating to just kind of cut off and then. Tiger Mag, you put 35s in your 4Runner. That's pretty tough. No Toyotas take 35-inch tires. Dwayne says there's massive inventory at Dodge and Ford dealers near me. Yeah, they're in trouble right now. Both, I mean, all car manufacturers are. Squid Game 2 is great, but a lot of parts were unrealistic. I'm not gonna ruin it for people that haven't seen it, but there are too many things in there that are just unrealistic, that would never happen in real life. So that's the only thing. They tried to make it somewhat realistic, but there are parts in there that are just so unrealistic. It just can't possibly happen in real life. All right, I think I blabbed on for quite a long time. All right, guys. Overall, today we have a little slight recovery. We may have found bottom. Let's see how Wall Street reacts. We got Fed minutes that's coming out in a few hours. I think afterwards we'll see if we get that good recovery today or not. But overall, you guys don't want to be left behind, all right? These things are just distractions. These little dips, okay? Don't be distracted. Don't be feared out. Continue the course. And I'll see you guys tonight. Tonight will be DCA day. I haven't DCA'd in weeks because of my travels. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.